Sit up straight, stand up straight, eat your Brussels sprouts. These are the things that we've always been told as kids. And as a rehab professional, I get this question all the time. My child sits like this. I have a gamer, I have a text neck. How much does posture matter? And it's debated, right? Like, this is one of the fun things of being in the field is does posture matter? And I think there's a lot more, just like any answer. It depends, and it's way more complex than it is complicated. Sometimes we just tend to overcomplicate things just for fun, I guess. So what I want to try to get into is to see what we can do to help yourselves and what you can have it so you're not as fragile as you think, right? We're not as fragile as a simple posture. Ergonomic research, remember, if we all like the handouts that we used to give had big CRT computer monitors. I remember handing those out until, like, I don't know, when I was first in practice. It was like 10 years ago now. We've kind of got away from that because we know ergonomics, people, if you just sit up straight, you're going to stiffen up in other places. Now we've gotten to standing desks. Well, we've traded off low back pain or in neck stiffness and disc issues now for facet issue and other tightness somewhere else. And now we need to get into this dynamic. So the posture that we want to see is one that you can get out of often and get moving as often as you can. So also we're not that fragile, right? People are just not that fragile in general. If there's an injury that's happening, it's coming from a posture, there's probably some underlying things going on, some muscle strength, weakness, those type of things. And the overall posture doesn't have to tell us that. Some of the worst deadlifters I've ever seen are also some of the best deadlifters I've seen. From an outside perspective, looking at them the first time, they have the rounded backs, their shoulders are way in front of them. But they've developed that and they've stressed themselves in that posture for so long that they can handle it, and they're actually better at it. What comes to fault, though, is when they start to take their bad habits and they start to teach people that haven't been lifting since they were like 13 or 14 years old, and they start to teach a 30-year-old, oh, it's okay to stretch your back. Well, that's where we end up with that difference. Good for one is not always good for the other. The 30-year-old who goes into this, discs are different, and they haven't stressed their spine in that way, so they're going to have at a higher risk for injury. That doesn't mean they can't go through it. They should still deadlift, and there's other ways of going through it, but their form's going to matter more than the person's been able to stress themselves for multiple years. And so we just want to get down to the generalities of posture. One of the things that we want to, I always kind of think at the back of my head is, where's the diaphragm and where's the pelvic floor? Yes, men, you do have pelvic floors too. It's not just a women issue. So what we want to see is able to happen with different postures. You have a range that you can kind of fall into, but this is the overall rule of thumb that I kind of let posture guide me. And what you're doing, again, matters. Deadlifting, weightlifting, posture matters more. Football, if you look at a football player, like the fundamental football tackle has a certain spine angle, if you will, compared to a person that's going to tackle somebody and hurt themselves. So you're going to be more powerful as you have better, as you get into these more postures where diaphragm is over pelvic floor. So we'll get into these nitty-gritty things. We'll go through some strength exercises, some mobility exercises, and some things that you can do. But the best thing to do is get out of your chair as often as you can.